Right, I'm ready for a European away day. Who's with me? Lads? Yeah, nah, so I bought a ticket.
I
Yeah,
forgot.
no, crazy.
I'm sorry,
My
bro.
iguana ate my ticket, bro. I wasn't expecting him to do that. One fan in the away end, one fan. Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, it's been a contrasting week in cinema, with a film about the explosive effect of a material that's bad for the environment, and also Oppenheimer. I can't lie, the variance in theme here is mad. Imagine in the cinema going to Oppenheimer and then sprinkling some Barbie in there. I just can't wait to see Margot Robbie, I'll be real. I'm ready to be a tier 3 sub in the middle of Cineworld. Just let me love you. Ange Postecoglou will be disappointed when he arrives for Barbie and there's no shrimp in there. But I'll be honest, I'm more excited for a different individual in pink. Because on the same day, Lionel Messi is due to make his Inter Miami debut. He's been officially unveiled as an MLS player and was filmed with their owner David Beckham. He's ready to become a club legend like Romeo Beckham, Dixon Arroyo, Ryan Saylor. Ah, Jesus Christ. The MLS might not be ready for Leo, you know. His announcement numbers were less than a new signing for Egyptian club Al Ahly on Facebook. There is negative hype. Jordan Henderson could sign for the EDL and it would do more numbers for Fabrizio Romano. Here we go. These fucking foreigners, even the club's goalkeeper said they're not ready for him with the side bottom of the league.
He wants to be the star too often, and it's really getting on my nerves.
They're definitely not ready for him in terms of prices either, with an Inter Miami shirt with Leo on the back being $190. This is a crime against football. Imagine being an Inter Miami fan, finding out the price of his name on your shirt plus an MLS badge.
Fuck off. $2.5 grand.
The club's ultras won't be amused when they've dropped 600k on shirts, but they're still bottom of the league.
Pretty pissed off with it all, to be honest. Put all this work in, spend all that money, and just end up with nothing, really.
And they're also not ready in terms of pitches either. Some clubs are still using AstroTurf. Leo's in for a tough time emptying his boots after a full 90. And they're going to change to grass pitches just for Messi. Something for a goat to graze on, I assume. Whilst you're at it, you might as well change the referees to the ones that give him all the penalties at the World Cup. All of this just for his son to nutmeg him. He's gonna get his revenge next time he's with his son Thiago in the back garden. But listen, he's in the US now, yeah? He's got to adapt. If he sees his growth hormone bills over there, he's gonna be depression. Committing acts of gun violence, or in US terms, a standard Monday evening. But look, at least the MLS can make themselves look better by properly announcing Sergio Busquets. That's Arbeloa, not Sergio, yeah. Declan Rice has finally been announced as an Arsenal player over at the Emirates. His face looked altogether different by the time the tweet went out. But to be fair, the announcement video with Adidas was insane.
It's been a witness these past few months.
But this transfer does have 57-year-old men across East London depressed, and most Hammers fans won't even be able to eat rice next time they're having jerk. Listen, it'll be too much PTSD. Saeed Benrahma's in the canteen knowing that he's gone.
Goodbye to the people who loved me.
But with Declan now a gunner, AFTV decided to bring out a tune.
Alright, stop, collaborate and listen. Rice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flows like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will I ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. To the extreme, I rock the mic like a vandal. Light up the stage and wax the chump like a candle.
Hey, listen, maybe being a Chelsea fan isn't that bad after all. This guy rapping has to be a virgin. He's scared of the beat. How can you be this off? I don't understand. Imagine being Declan hearing this on Kiss FM on the way to training.
Wasn't this mushroom deadly? When I
In that case, look, I'm not gonna bother. I'll just turn around.
Ty had some excuses as to why his ad-libs were slightly off.
We mustn't forget that it's been raining, so...
It's been raining.
Meanwhile, Troops was disappointed knowing that his verse was cut.
This is peak still.
One of Arsenal's other summer signings is also making headlines for the wrong reason, as Kai Havertz took part in the MLS Volleys Challenge and became the first person ever to score 0. £65 million for this. This is the Havertz they actually signed. Honestly, some of these efforts were wild and absolutely rash.
Oh, fuck.
The first to ever do this, you know. The MLS isn't even a good league, bro. You're telling me Josie Altidor's done this and done it better? People are saying he's gonna cook. This is the meal that he's chefing at Arsenal. To be fair, they did win 5-0 and he did at least score a half volley in the game. Meanwhile, after the match, a US television passed over to Bukayo Saka.
Down to the pitch now, Julian Sakovic's live with Bukayo Saka.
Bukayo, you're looking at that MVP trophy. You've had your fair share of trophies, but...
Saka, yeah, Hispanic. My brother, he's literally represents America. Yeah, sorry, no, I'm not Bukayo. Oh, sorry, that's on me, bro. Okay, sorry, we'll go again. So here we have Eddie and Ketia. The maddest thing, yeah, about this is they said Saka has trophies. Where? One of the story from pre-season friendlies, though, comes from Germany's Bayern Munich, who played a side called Rotak Egern and won 27-0. Look, it could have gone either way. 27 goals, Jeremy. That's insane. Thomas Muller had some wise words for a Rotak player when he heard them say next goal wins.
I love ambition. Absolutely fucking love it. But in this game, you've got to fucking walk before you can run.
We actually have highlights of the match right here, by the way. They've played before, and the scoreline now on aggregate is 70-2. Still better than Barcelona's head-to-head record, though, to be fair. Mikel here on Twitter, a Bayern Munich fan, was not impressed by their first goal going in. He was going out and said he'd better return to a 27-0 scoreline. Well, he wasn't disappointed. Rotak's boss knew what was going down. 18-0 at the break, texting Thomas Tuchel at half-time to try and get the game postponed. Joshua Kimmich was showing absolutely no mercy to Rotak players when they claimed that there's 2 halves to every match.
There is no your half.
Meanwhile, Tottenham fans are trying to convince Bayern's CEO that after scoring 27 in one game, they just don't need Harry Kane.
He isn't the player that everybody thinks he is. People are saying that he's going to win the Golden Boot. That is outrageous.
From one Harold to another, though, now, as Harry Maguire has been stripped to the United captaincy. Eric Ten Hag has had enough, furiously writing notes after seeing his Bosch fridge tendencies. But Eric did at least get a positive reaction when he told the rest of the squad the news. Harry tried to mark the occasion by throwing his final captain's armband into the crowd, not that they wanted it. He's furious and shocked, though, according to reports coming out of the club. Could he be heading for the exit door? Rival fans will be devastated, saying goodbye to him at the airport. And could he head to Saudi? Well, listen, when he finds out about the paycheck, he won't care about what his mum has to say about a move to a place with such war crimes associated.
Well, that's awful, but not. Well, it's not relevant, is it?
By the way, speaking of Saudi Arabia, in their 3rd division are actively looking for players to go there. Open applications, you know. Look, I've seen the wages. I'll be over in Saudi Arabia trying to convince them I'm the man for the job.
Mecca, I've been 4 times. The mosque, I'm addicted to it. Madin, I'm on a mad thing right now.
I'll be warming up for a trial with a 68 million contract on the line. Thing is, I know at least 4 Dons who would get man of the match in this division. Like, personally. I'll be there on game week 1 after securing my cash with a crippling vape addiction. If just anyone can go over there and play, it's going to cause dangerous side effects. Imagine a 41-year-old dad from Doncaster trying to acclimatise to the rest of the squad.
I'm sat here with you. You're a Sikh, yeah?
No, I'm not Sikh.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
What are you? Indian?
A Sunday League boss turning up to coach with only a Frosty's 25 metres swimming badge to his name.
What's it? You want it? Tell me then.
On the topic of Steven Gerrard, by the way, how is he going to break the language barrier here? These Saudi players think he's speaking Swahili. Al Ettifaq's squad are going to be speaking slightly differently after 6 months of him training them.
Let's fucking have it.
Now, let's talk women's football, because the World Cup has started. Only a couple of games in here, but it's already been a shock with a New Zealand win, just a matter of hours after a deadly attack in the country. New Zealand's players made their country proud on such a difficult day. Erling Haaland was fuming, realising he couldn't sneak on to help his Norwegian counterparts just because his hair is long.
A bit shit, but that's all it is.
This is the first tournament to have VAR announcements in the stadium, which is sick. I'm not looking forward to this happening in the UK, though, I've got to be honest with you.
I don't know, Jeff, has it? I must have missed that.
Ireland also faced off against Australia in their first World Cup appearance, and the derby of alcoholics provided this beauty of a picture. Australia won even without an injured Sam Kerr, who took matters personally when a member of her family indicated that they might not be able to win this one in the living room. I mentioned Erling Haaland a second ago, and EA created an AI version of the Norwegian goal scorer, an FC24 event. It's scarily accurate, but AI Erling, isn't that just the normal Erling? This man has Microsoft Excel installed in him. Tottenham striker Harry Kane appeared on YouTube series Hot Ones this week, and it's not the first time he's been dealt with bottles that have a devastating effect.
That is disgusting.
Lads, come on. This man's tongue has a hard enough time as it is. He just doesn't look like a man that can handle spice. That's all I'm going to say. His taste buds get assaulted by Nando's garlic and herb. Them very same buds will be having to have a team talk to try and get themselves through whatever he's doing on Hot Ones.
We killed that minute one. We press, we're aggressive, fucking chances, goal.
Meanwhile, Inter striker Romelu Lukaku's also got to put out fires this week. After it emerged, he held talks with Juventus while still on loan from Chelsea to Inter. And those Inter fans have not taken it well, saying he can never play for the club again. He's betrayed them after they stood with him during the difficult times. I'll be real, I've always been a fan of fraudulence, so I want to move to Juventus. Romelu's gonna know his fate heading to the San Siro, knowing he's about to get beaten up by the Ultras.
There might not be any hope for me again, sort of kind of thing.
This man kisses every badge of every club he's ever played for, but the next logo he's gonna be kissing will be altogether different. But one kit he won't want to kiss is this one from Arsenal. The Gunners and Adidas have produced, quite honestly, the worst shirt ever. Not just football kit, by the way. No, the piece of clothing ever. It's the worst. Now I need new eyes in a cost of living crisis. Arsenal have taken the rebuild situation a little bit too literally. One of Arsenal's sponsors, Prime, is also in the news after the product apparently has too much sugar in it. Barcelona players are going to be off their not on E-numbers next season, speeding around the pitch. Imagine a poor year 7 kid going to school after 3 sips of the stuff. Mini Minter's charity match performances make sense now. The guy was on PEDs. Listen, poor Road to Shore, man. The guy's gonna have an ADHD attack from these drinks. Meanwhile, elsewhere in pre-season games, and Chelsea were in action and beat Wrexham 5-0. They finally found their level. Good performances from the younger players here, to be fair, in their new kit, which sponsorless looks like a Pro Evo, but this is West London Blues. Mark Cucurella was subbed off in this one and then substituted back on later in the game. This isn't allowed. If I'm Wrexham's manager, I'm fuming at these new rules in the capital.
We're in London, aren't we? That's the fucking difference.
The guy must have come back on in disguise. Look, it's Kark Mukareya. Honestly, he was probably shocking both times. I can't even lie. Over at Liverpool, and Darwin Núñez scored the most Darwin Núñez goal you've ever seen. Look, it's fine, boss. Just go for the easy option. Nah, me, never that. United beat Lyon 1-0 in a friendly. The youngsters did well here too, but it was Donny van de Beek who got a goal. Honestly, nobody cares as much as this man does about this goal, bless him. And on MUTV, one young fan had their opinion on Mason Mount.
Mason Mount, new signing. Oh, look at it. Overrated.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on, I'm not gonna lie.
On big old Manchester United television, they actually aired this. James Ward-Prowse probably wasn't expecting this penalty to go so badly wrong against Turkish opposition. That penalty spot's going to need a hair transplant now. Meanwhile, former Southampton and Liverpool striker Ricky Lambert reckons you can talk water into being cleaner.
The water experiment, which I told you about, where they spoke positively to one glass of water, froze it. Spoke negatively to another glass of water, froze it. The negativity water was full of warped holes and blackness. The glass of water that was spoke to positively was full of crystals.
Yeah, honestly, we might need to ban heading from football, you know. You know what, actually is right. I got beaten up by a bottle of Buxton because I called it a dickhead. Maybe that's how Jesus managed to walk on water. Right, listen, water, yeah, you're looking beautiful today. We've got Ricky here to his cup of Evian, trying to make sure it's as fresh and cold as possible.
That is bloody lovely.
Now, in Germany, and Werder Bremen played their first friendly of pre-season, and it meant that Naby Keita made his debut. And it also, therefore, meant that Naby Keita got his first injury. This man's had his injury career interrupted by football. His legs are made out of chocolate flakes, bro. It turns out that black does actually crack. Who's the doctor at Werder Bremen who allowed this man to pass his medical? He got his qualifications on ChatGPT, bro. Look, Reds fans are trying to console Werder Bremen supporters being upset here.
First time.
Look, I feel so bad for him because he genuinely is a good footballer when he's fit, but he's going to be playing at Soccer Aid in 2 years from now. In Spain, Real Madrid posted a throwback of Toni Kroos, who appeared in the comments asking who the picture was of. Eden Hazard's career at Real Madrid is a bit of a throwback now after he left the club in the summer, and he's still clearly very much looking for a job based on his Twitter likes. Liking a tweet from a bot account, probably, asking for a job that pays between $1,000 and $4,000 every week. Times are clearly tough for Eden. Oriol Romeu is back back at his childhood club after signing for Barcelona, his agent told him how it was when they met up for coffee the next morning.
Fucking hell. How'd you fluke that one?
400 million euros is his release clause, by the way. I don't think you had to really worry about that, lads. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck, and I would have paid 390 million for him as well. Over at Girona, and they announced a new signing via FIFA career mode. I can't wait for his first interaction with his new manager. So, boss, I've been thinking, and I want to start the Champions League final. The Champions League? What are you talking about? But now, boys and girls, it's time for the FNG Transfer Roundup. Welcome all to the Transfer Roundup, the last place to hear about the news. No, for real, we've only just been told about the Darwin Núñez deal. Hey, boss, who's... Kavicha Kavel. Our first story comes in the form of Manchester City signing highly rated centre-back Joško Gvardiol. Yeah, it's a wrap. Yeah, now the Premier League's done. Pep has already been interviewed on his chances of being at the Premier League trophy parade come the end of the season.
We will be there. We'll be there.
Elsewhere, and Harvey Barnes has left newly relegated Leicester to join Newcastle, and Geordie fan channels will have to adapt to their new signing.
Oh, it's an equaliser.
And finally, there's the news that Crystal Palace are valuing Czech Doucouré at £80 million. Chelsea have completely ruined the transfer market by signing Draco Malfoy.
You're just ruining it.
In Italy now, and Jose Mourinho is facing some serious hurdles.
It's not easy to expect.
In the form of, well, actual physical hurdles. Meanwhile, PSG Ultras have promised to cut off Dusan Vlahovic's fingers if he joins them from Juventus this summer. Why his fingers? I've only just realised, like, his job involves his feet, lads. Be more targeted. To be honest with you, the way Paris riots every weekend, this could easily happen to him on holiday over there too. Sassuolo played a friendly against Vincenza and won 22-0. Doesn't seem all that friendly to me. Meanwhile, there was a similar beating from Lecce, who won 15-1, but the one goal they did concede was an absolute horror story of an own goal. Wow! And in France, there's the news that Benjamin Mendy has signed for Lorient, after of course leaving Manchester City with all the charges that were hanging over him at the time. And I of course wish him the best of luck in having his ACL obliterated in the first game. Now that it's time for your goals of the week, we've got some more stunners once again. We start off with some brilliant acrobatics from Saikat Sarkar over in India against Calcutta Customs, who ironically weren't accustomed to this sort of finishing ability. Next up, we're back to the British Isles, where Anthony Sarcevic, with some beautiful control and in a saucy finish, gives Stockport the league in a friendly. We've had the class, the poise, the technical ability, the last few goals, but Jorge Ortega doesn't need any of that in Paraguay, smacking it home from distance.
Aquí está Jorge Ortega, le pega Ortega. Golazo!
Over in Saudi Arabia, and his new Al Ittihad teammates are celebrating Karim Benzema on the team coach on the way to a friendly. But honestly, this man is just trying to listen to music in peace. Yeah, guys, yeah, thanks. If you could just let me get back to this new Huss album. The MLS have brought back an unbelievable, like, this is the one thing that America slaps when it comes to football. Goalie wars, something you used to do in the 90s, where both goalkeepers just go up against each other to try and throw or goal kick it into the back of the net as many times as possible. It's like a goalie penalty shootout. Bring it to England. Club Brugge are another team to have won convincingly in pre-season, winning 22-0 against a side called KFC Heist. And trust me, they've stolen a bargain bucket or two from these lot. That's a disgusting scoreline. And over in Hungary, Ferencváros were very confident of their passage through in European qualifiers this week. After going up on aggregate against Faroese side KI, they put on Facebook they were looking forward to their next opponents from Sweden. Well, KI managed to come back from behind and win 3-0, in part thanks to a howler from the Hungarian side's goalkeeper. And speaking of goalkeepers, the Faroese shot stopper used to be a goalkeeper, then retired, decided to come back as an outfielder, and upon special request from KI decided to get back between the sticks and has now helped his side to victory. What a man! Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Fikk beholde plassen I Eliteserien da, Sandefjord.
And that concludes the beautiful game. Now, over in Cameroon, and Samuel Eto'o is being investigated for match fixing in the country. That's after audio tapes were found of him promising one club promotion to the top flight. Match fix. The Cameroonian FA president has beef with Andre Onana, who'll be looking on creasing as this news develops. At a youth game involving San Lorenzo and one player needed medical attention, the problem is the guy who drives the ambulance locked himself out of the vehicle. Oh, my knee. Oh, God. Ah, yeah, the keys in the car. Let me just call 999 to sort this out. 999. You are the emergency. Over in Mexico, one of my favorite celebrations of the week has to be this one. Running into an empty crowd and deciding to clap yourself because nobody else is going to. At Mulder, and Veton Berisha is going to want to close his eyes for this one. God, I love it. I fucking love it! Even though his side were a few goals up, you can't be missing that one. In Morocco, and Raja Casablanca fans have found a unique way of getting flares into the stadium. But honestly, the bigger question is, what the fuck is that sound with? In Brazil and at Sao Paulo, another great celebration this week. Just steal the mascot's head top. I don't really know what it is that Universitario think they're playing, but they're doing up jiu-jitsu instead of playing actual football, because that's 2 games in the last 2 months that have had an absolute flurry of red cards in them. Staying on the South American vibe, and in Uruguay, this tackle was so hard that it almost got the guy ran over. I didn't think they'd put speed bumps next to a bitch. Glentoran are out of European competition after losing 15-14 on penalties. Their Maltese opponents scored every single pen, but did almost go out thanks to this, which they thought they'd saved, only for the ball to dribble back across the line again. Up at Celtic though, and shout out Daiz and Maeda, who scored a hat-trick in a pre-season friendly and then jumped up into the crowd to support the rest of the side from there. Now though, for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, their new season will be starting soon, and I for one am looking forward to it. But one club isn't quite ready for the new campaign and new technology, that being VAR, and UTA, whose VAR screen looks like this. They might want to upgrade that before things actually start, because right now it looks like it's about to be wheeled in by a substitute geography teacher. Closer to home, and one Norwich fan has got his opinion sorted on their new home kit for the season.
Final question, that new home kit was released. You going to go buy it or not?
I already look disabled enough. Why would I wear that?
At Cardiff, and Aaron Ramsey is home, back at the club where things all began. And not only that, but his son has signed for the club as a youth player at the same time. Beautiful stuff. It's time for Aaron to bring back that MSN bio, in my opinion. Meanwhile, down at Kings Lynn, and they tweeted that one supporter had belted out a Burt for over 10 seconds, which then got a response from the crowd. I love lower league football.
I think he's the best centre-half of all time. What do you do against him? He's bigger than everyone, he's faster than everyone, he's stronger than everyone.
Over in Sweden, and one trialist I've got to say stands out from the rest here. Who needs a new number 9 when you can just get a K9? Over in Norway, and Stabæk fans were not too pleased with recent VAR decisions given against them, and so at kickoff, every single fan decided to protest by leaving the stadium. Mate, listen, if that was a thing in England, it would look like the COVID season all over again. Meanwhile, a bit more of a feel-good story coming from Norway. At Kjelsås, I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong, but they're a Norwegian side playing in the 3rd division and have reached the semi-finals of the Norwegian Cup for the first time in their history. Over in Uruguay, and at Peñarol, their halfway line is more of a halfway interpretation. Shout out to Spartans, who defeated Dundee United in their first season as an SPFL club in the cup, and I've got to say their live tweeting made the victory even sweeter. Yeah, nah, I don't know who this guy thinks he is. This isn't R9, this is R8, bro. Meanwhile, over in South Africa, and at this petrol station, a legend is about to be born. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And this time around, we are headed over to India. The one thing about amateur football is it can be played in any weather conditions. We don't need professional pitches. We don't need safety. We also don't really need a river instead of grass, but that's not going to stop these lot. On to the weird stuff though now. Over in Algeria, and then the final day of their top flight season, it was absolute pandemonium. One side called Paradou went from being in the relegation zone at halftime to finishing in 6th place. Meanwhile, Chelgoum Lahi down at the bottom of the table are in absolute crisis. They finished on 4 points and had to play their goalkeeper in midfield for half of the game, in which he actually almost scored as well. Shout out to Macedonian side FK Slobodan, who managed to get themselves locked into their own pitch after a game there. They're based in the Macedonian capital, and upon wanting to leave the ground, realised that all the gates had been locked and they couldn't get out of there. Over in Hungary, and one news channel was reporting on the Russia-Ukraine war, claiming that Ukrainians had been celebrating some sort of bomb blast that went on in Russia and using footage of people celebrating in a bar. However, it turns out that they had literally just taken football fans singing Will Griggs on Fire and used that instead, hoping that no one would notice. Wigan propaganda. I never thought I'd see the day. And finally, in some good news, I told you about Edwin van der Sar's health conditions a few weeks ago, I believe. Well, thankfully, there's the update that he is now out of ICU and recovering with his family, which is great to see, and yeah, I wish him a speedy recovery, a goalkeeping and footballing legend. That though is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at the official FNG on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.